Welcome to the part 5 and hopefully part 6, the last session of this answer, my young scholars. I ended the 4th session on a very important statement I should repeat, that the God who joined heaven to earth in one person is not embarrassed to join the pulpit to the lectern in one calling. So then, have there been voices of the tradition? And if they have been voices, who are those voices? And who are the persons behind those voices? So we are not the first to walk this road. And I'm not the first to be asked this question by many of my young men and women who are asking me a question on how I navigate faith and scholarship. There are a great cloud of witnesses. I begin with Justin Martyr, the 2nd century philosopher, who kept his philosopher's coat or cloak after his conversion and taught that the Logos had sown seeds of truth throughout the human race. What he called Logos spermaticos. So that Socrates and the noblest pagans were in their groping, or were in their groping after the truth. Christians before Christ. That was just the Martyr's thinking. Clement of Alexandria declared that just as the law was a schoolmaster to bring the Jews to Christ, so philosophy was a schoolmaster to bring the Greeks. To bring the Greeks, a divinely intended preparation for the gospel. Augustine gave us the enduring image of plundering the Egyptians. As Israel carried Egypt's gold out of bondage to fashion the vessels of the tabernacle, so the church may carry the gold of pagan learning into the service of God. Amazing imagery. And it was Augustine who taught us to pray. Quote, believe that you may understand. Crede ut intelligas. How about Ansel? He turned that prayer into the very method of theology, which is the prayer of Augustine, that believe that you may understand. He turned it into the very method of theology. Fides quaerens intellectum, that faith seeking understanding. Anselm said, I do not seek to understand in order that I may believe. That's what he says. But rather he says, but I believe in order that I may understand. Faith is not the enemy of thought. Faith is the soil in which thought grows tall. Thomas Aquinas is our next, who built the great cathedral of synthesis, holding that reason and revelation are two distinct paths that cannot contradict, because both descend from the one God, and crowning it with the principle that grace does not destroy nature, but perfects it. Philosophy in his hands became the honored handmaiden of theology. Philosophia ancilla theologia, not its slave driver and not its enemy, but its servant in the house of faith. So what is the right ordering? ladies and gentlemen. What is the right ordering? Notice that not one of these voices makes Athens the master. The whole tradition agrees on the order. And what is the order? The order is that revelation governs, that reason serves. The order is faith leads, so that understanding follows. The order is the pulpit sets the end, and the lectern supplies the means. I love this. This is the resolution Tertullian could not see. It is captured in 3 Latin maxims worth carrying in the heart. The first one is Fidelis Quaerens Intellectum, faith seeking understanding. We do not check our minds at the church door. We bring them in to be put to work. I remember doing my theology at the Kofi Crystal, and my teachers teaching me that our faith must seek understanding. The second Latin phrase is Philosophia Ancilla Theologia. Philosophy, the handmaiden of theology. That learning is welcome, indispensable, and honored, and subordinate. The third phrase is Gratia non tollit naturam sed perficit. Gratia non tollit naturam sed perficit. And that's to say, grace does not abolish nature, but perfects it. The redeemed mind is not a smaller mind, but a healed one. Did you hear that? When the order is right, scholarship does not threaten faith. It serves it. When the order is inverted, scholarship devours faith, and faith retreats into ignorance. And both are diminished. Shalom. I'll come your way.